Welcome. This is a time of the year with All Saints, All Souls, and with Remembrance Sunday coming up, that our memories of what others have meant to us, of what others have done for us, of those we miss, are very much at the forefront of our minds. We're so grateful for all that they have meant, all that they were, and the way that when they were with us, we were able to enjoy the gifts they had and the people they were. And we too are part in eternity of that great community of the church, the community that is the communion of saints. Whether we are in God's direct presence or here in our daily lives, we are, as the saints of God, as Paul always reminds us, part of a greater communion, which includes the saints in light. And yet there's always that difference, that space between us. There's always that sense that there is something that we can't approach, something that may be too dark or too dazzling, something that hides the beyondness of God's glory from us, something really that can only be glimpsed in a vision, like this one from the book of Genesis that Jacob had, vision of heaven. Jacob left Beersheba and went towards Haran. He came to a certain place and stayed there for the night, because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of the place, he put it under his head and lay down in that place. And he dreamed that there was a ladder set up on the earth, the top of it reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And the Lord stood beside him and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your offspring, and your offspring shall be like the dust of the earth. And you shall spread abroad to the west and the east, and the north and to the south, and all the families of the earth shall be blessed in you and in your offspring. Know that I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob woke from his sleep and said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Henry Vaughan, living several centuries ago in the borderland between Wales and England, obviously regularly as a parish priest and as a human being and a member of a human family, saw loss, separation, bereavement, and sadness. It was probably as hard for him as it is for us to say things that are quite intended to be reassuring, but might come out as platitudes like, she's gone to a better place. And yet there is a truth in that, because something separates us, not simply life and death, but something separates us from the glory of God. And Vaughan, the poet, realizes this every bit as much as Vaughan, the man and the priest. And he speaks of his friends who have died, and he says, they are all gone into the world of light, and I am left behind. This glorious world, dazzling, where they have gone. He speaks of them walking in light and glory. He speaks of himself in the very powerful image of somebody who watches the empty nest of a bird, as somebody who knows that they have flown, knows that they are somewhere, but can't be sure of where or what that light might look like. And this is the hardness of our remembrance, and the hardness of our bereavement, and the hardness of our loss. Part of us trusts God. Part of us seeing and knowing Jesus Christ helps us to see what the promises of God might and will mean. But feeling it is so hard. It feels like we're surrounded by mist. Vaughan prays that he may either join the ones he misses, or for the mist to disperse. And as we trust in the God who loves us, and in God's own time, we can ask for the grace to know that God holds our hand, and that path, which seems to stretch on into the unknown, is a path that God himself has trodden. And God himself not only lies behind, but also at our side, above us, below us, and around us. And in that step of faith, and in that gentle trust in God, no matter how despairing we may be, we may yet be able to see the landscape where the mist is dispersed, and God in glory stands among us. Here's the poem. They are all gone into the world of light, and I alone sit lingering here. Their very memory is fair and bright, and my sad thoughts doth clear. It glows and glitters in my cloudy breast, like stars upon some gloomy grove, or those faint beams in which this hill is dressed after the sun's remove. I see them walking in an air of glory, whose light doth trample on my days which are at best both dull and hoary, mere glimmering and decays. O holy hope, and high humility, high as the heavens above, these are your walks, and you've showed them me, to kindle my cold love. Dear beauteous death, the jewel of the just, shining nowhere but in the dark, what mysteries do lie beyond thy dust? Could man outlook that mark? He that hath found some fledged bird's nest may know at first sight if the bird is flown. But what farewell or grove he sings in now, this is to him unknown. And yet, as angels in some brighter dreams call to the soul when man doth sleep, so some strange thoughts transcend our wonted themes, and into glory peep. If a star were confined into a tomb, her captive flames must needs burn there. But when the hand that locked her up gives room, she'll shine through all the sphere. O Father of eternal life, and all created glories under thee, resume thy spirit from this world of thrall into true liberty. Either disperse these mists which blot and fill my perspective still as they pass, or else remove me hence unto that hill, where I shall need no glass.